viewers, you are most welcome to our channel Poetry Online. In this video, we shall be discussing the WASSCE 2019 English Language Paper 1. Kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get updates on all our new videos. Once again, let us assure you of a very interesting discussion. Get ready for this lesson. LEXIS and structure. Section 1. In each of the following sentences, there is a word underlined and one gap. From the list of words lettered A to D, choose the word that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word, and that will at the same time correctly fill the gap in the sentence. Question 1. The once audible ticks of the clock have suddenly become dash. A. Have suddenly become regular. B. Have suddenly become invincible. C. Have suddenly become muted. D. Have suddenly become sluggish. The correct answer to this question is C. Have suddenly become muted. Question 2. It is inspiring how the actor rose from obscurity into dash. A. Into opulence. B. Into prominence. C. Into brightness. D. Into royalty. The correct answer to this question is B. Into prominence. Question 3. The Supreme Court ratified the result it had earlier dash. A. Despised. B. Suppressed. C. Discarded. D. Annulled. The correct answer to this question is D. The Supreme Court ratified the result it had earlier annulled. Question 4. Far from being provocative, Akoto's remark was seen as rather dash. A. Conciliatory. B. Reasonable. C. Mild. D. Appropriate. The correct answer to this question is A. Far from being provocative, Akoto's remark was seen as rather conciliatory. Question 5. Joan prefers roomy cars to dash ones. A. To compressed ones. B. To heavy ones. C. To sizable ones. D. To compact ones. The correct answer to this question is D. Joan prefers roomy cars to compact ones. Question 6. The receptionist accorded the travelers was neither cordial nor dash. A. Negative. B. Cold. C. Impolite. D. Improper. The correct answer to this question is B. The receptionist accorded the travelers was neither cordial nor cold. Question 7. It is difficult to explain why crimes, which were rare in the past, are now dash. A. Are now current. B. Are now conspicuous. C. Are now visible. D. Are now rife. The correct answer to this question is D. It is difficult to explain why crimes, which were rare in the past, are now rife. Question 8. The once jovial Mohammed has become too dash from liking. A. Has become too conceited. B. Has become too moody. C. Has become too cautious. D. Has become too submissive. The correct answer to this question is B. The once jovial Mohammed has become too moody for my liking. Question 9. Some people we meet in our life are pleasant, while others are dash. A. Wrong. B. Indifferent. C. Disagreeable. D. Indolent. The correct answer to this question is B. Indifferent. Question 10. It is more difficult to scale the hill than to dash. A. Than to descend. B. Than to dismount. C. Than to surmount. D. Than to disembark. The correct answer to this question is A. It is more difficult to scale the hill than to descend. Section II. From the words lettered A to D, choose the ones that best complete each of the following sentences. Question 11. There was no evidence to dash his guilt. A. There was no evidence to settle his guilt. B. There was no evidence to build his guilt. C. There was no evidence to manage his guilt. D. There was no evidence to establish his guilt. The correct answer to this question is D. There was no evidence to establish his guilt. Question 12. The offending drivers were pardoned because they gave dash excuses. A. They gave a plausible excuse. B. They gave a strong excuse. C. They gave a perceived excuse. D. They gave an obvious excuse. The correct answer to this question is A. The offending drivers were pardoned because they gave a plausible excuse. Question 13. If Richard had taken the advice, he wouldn't have dashed the disease. A. He wouldn't have contacted the disease. B. He wouldn't have contracted the disease. C. He wouldn't have accepted the disease. D. He wouldn't have suffered the disease. The correct answer to this question is B. If Richard had taken the advice, he wouldn't have contracted the disease. Question 14. I suggest that we seek dash medical advice in this case. A. I suggest that we seek academic medical advice in this case. B. I suggest that we seek professional medical advice in this case. C. I suggest that we seek educated medical advice in this case. D. I suggest that we seek trained medical advice in this case. The correct answer to this question is B. I suggest that we seek professional medical advice in this case. Question 15. The suspect has been on the dash for several months. A. The suspect has been on the fence for several months. B. The suspect has been on the edge for several months. C. The suspect had been on the go for several months. D. The suspect has been on the run for several months. The correct answer to this question is D. The suspect has been on the run for several months. Question 16. Abena was commended for playing a unique dash in the success of the team. A. Abena was commended for playing a unique side. B. Abena was commended for playing a unique role. C. Abena was commended for playing a unique support. D. Abena was commended for playing a unique rapport. The correct answer to this question is B. Abena was commended for playing a unique role in the success of the team. Question 17. The students were advised to dash the assignment before submission. A. To cite the assignment before submission. B. To confirm the assignment before submission. C. To review the assignment before submission. D. To judge the assignments before submission. The correct answer to this question is C. The students were advised to review their assignments before submission. Question 18. Several months dash before applications were invited. A. Several months passed before applications were invited. B. Several months rolled before applications were invited. C. Several months went before applications were invited. D. Several months elapsed before applications were invited. The correct answer to this question is D. Several months elapsed before applications were invited. Question 19. Moro's latest novel has dashed his reputation as a writer. A. Has heightened his reputation as a writer. B. Has boosted his reputation as a writer. C. Has sharpened his reputation as a writer. D. Has soared his reputation as a writer. The correct answer to this question is B. Moro's latest novel has boosted his reputation as a writer. Question 20. The minister denied all the allegations dashed against him. A. The minister denied all the allegations charged against him. B. The minister denied all the allegations pushed against him. C. The minister denied all the allegations leveled against him. D. The minister denied all the allegations preferred against him. The correct answer to this question is C. The minister denied all the allegations leveled against him. Section III. Choose from the alternatives lettered A to D the one which is nearest in meaning to the underlined word or expressions in each sentence. Question 21. You will be considered astute if you do not indulge in frivolous pursuits. A. You will be considered considerate if you don't indulge in frivolous pursuits. B. You will be considered cautious if you don't indulge in frivolous pursuits. C. You will be considered wise if you do not indulge in frivolous pursuits. D. You will be considered reasonable if you do not indulge in frivolous pursuits. The correct answer to this question is C. You will be considered wise if you do not indulge in frivolous pursuits. Question 21. There is almost endless supply of knowledge on the internet. A. There is almost limitless supply of knowledge on the internet. B. There is almost unchecked supply of knowledge on the internet. C. There is almost much less supply of knowledge on the internet. D. There is almost unbroken supply of knowledge on the internet. The correct answer to this question is A. There is almost limitless supply of knowledge on the internet. Question 23. Jamie gave us his unreserved apologies. A. His serious apologies. B. His humble apologies. C. His right apologies. D. His sincere apologies. The correct answer to this question is D. Jamie gave us his sincere apologies. Question 24. Getting stranded in new environment can be traumatic. A. Getting stranded in new environment can be upsetting. B. Getting stranded in new environment can be risky. C. Getting stranded in new environment can be embarrassing. D. Getting stranded in new environment can be troublesome. The correct answer to this question is B. Getting stranded in new environment can be risky. Question 25. The officer was promoted because of the outstanding qualities he displayed. A. Because of the fundamental qualities he displayed. B. Because of the excellent qualities he displayed. C. Because of the correct qualities he displayed. D. Because of the famous qualities he displayed. The correct answer to this question is D. The officer was promoted because of the famous qualities he displayed. Question 26. Some people derive exquisite delight in antiquities. A. Some people derive pleasurable delight in antiquities. B. Some people derive intense delight in antiquities. C. Some people derive genuine delight in antiquities. D. Some people derive satisfactory delight in antiquities. The correct answer to this question is B. Some people derive intense delight in antiquities. Question 27. Her kind gesture is a sterling example worthy of emulation. A. Worthy of commendation. B. Worthy of consideration. C. Worthy of association. D. Worthy of imitation. The correct answer to this question is D. Her kind gesture is a sterling example worthy of imitation. Question 28. Some experiences in life teach us to exhibit appropriate behaviors at all times. A. To exhibit attractive behaviors at all times. B. To exhibit exciting behavior at all times. C. To exhibit inspiring behavior at all times. D. To exhibit suitable behavior at all times. The correct answer to this question is D. Some experiences in life teach us to exhibit suitable behaviors at all times. Question 29. The leader advised his followers not to gauge success by wealth. A. Not to consider success by wealth. B. Not to measure success by wealth. C. Not to test success by wealth. D. Not to imagine success by wealth. The correct answer to this question is B. The leader advised his followers not to measure success by wealth. Question 30. This approach may be sound for certain types of situation. A. This approach may sound workable for certain types of situation. B. This approach may sound rewarding for certain types of situation. C. This approach may sound robust for certain types of situation. D. This approach may sound solid for certain types of situation. The correct answer to this question is D. This approach may sound solid for certain types of situations. Section IV. After each of the following sentences, a list of possible interpretations of all or parts of the sentence is given. Choose the interpretation you consider most appropriate for each sentence. Question 31. As we approach our destination, I grind from ear to ear. This means that I A. Heard desirable news. B. Became deeply impressed. C. Was extremely happy. D. Began to have sweet memories. The correct answer to this question is C. As we approach our destination, I grind from year to year. Question 32. The matter is already water under the bridge. This means that it's A. is partially suspended. B. cannot be accepted any longer. C. cannot be changed. C. is hardly talked about. The correct answer to this question is D. The matter is already water under the bridge. This means that it is hardly talked about. Question 33. The incident casts a shadow over the rest of the holiday. This means that it A. failed to produce any excitement. B. stopped the enjoyment. C. caused a measure of concern. D. gave respite of our activities. The correct answer to this question is B. The incident cast a shadow over the rest of the holiday. This means that it stopped the enjoyment. Question 34. Many successes were recorded in the twilight of the chief's reign. This means that A. all along his reign. B. at the beginning of his reign. C. during the final stages of his reign. D. in the middle of his reign. The correct answer to this question is C. Many successes were recorded in the twilight of the chief's reign. This means that during the final stages of his reign. Question 35. Retail traders made a part from the business during the festive period. This means that they A. charged higher prices. B. displayed a lot of goods. C. joined in the festivities. D. made huge profits. The correct answer to this question is D. Retail traders made a part from the business during festive period. This means that they made huge profits. Question 36. A week to her wedding, Martha got cold feet. This means that she A. faced a lot of difficulties. B. became frightened of failure. C. ran out of money. D. became very ill. The correct answer to this question is B. A week to her wedding, Martha got cold feet. This means that she became frightened of failure. Question 37. The survivors did not lose heart, although their rescue was delayed. This means that they A. refused to give in to threats. B. managed to sustain their lives. C. did not despair. D. did not experience any loss. The correct answer to this question is C. The survivors did not lose heart, although their rescue was delayed. This means that they did not despair. Question 38. Moro realized too late that his close associates were fair weather friends. This means that they were A. very considerate. B. friends only in good time. C. reliable friends. D. hard to please. The correct answer to this question is B. Moro realized too late that his close associates were fair weather friends. This means that They were friends only in good times. Question 39. The manager was taken to task for his role in the matter. This means that the manager was A. Condemned, B. Demoted, C. Dismissed, D. Criticized. The correct answer to this question is D. The manager was taken to task for his role in the matter. This means that the manager was criticized. Question 40. His argument flies in the face of available facts. This means that his argument A. is worrying, B. is uncertain, C. lacks reason, D. causes despair. The correct answer to this question is C. His argument flies in the face of available facts. This means that his argument lacks reason. Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.